So I want to talk about something that I wrote a bit about in my book, but I want to do a video series as well because I think it's really important. And that is retroactive jealousy among men in particular. And I think it's important that this is something that is dealt with because it's not often talked about and it's ruining a lot of relationships that have otherwise great potential. So I want to tell you that if you are a man and you're actively searching for ways to get through this, then you're already doing the right thing. Because what you could have done, or what you can continue doing, is destroying relationships and really hurting people who you actually love. Uh, so you're doing the work of really fixing yourself and looking within instead of harming yourself through actions connected to retroactive jealousy. So, just a little bit about what retroactive jealousy is. Retroactive jealousy is a jealousy as it relates to your partner's past. So, your partner's past relationships, your partner's past in terms of like sexual activity, uh, anything that resorts to any anger, resentment, jealousy, bitterness towards what your partner did when she didn't even know who you were before you even came along. Uh, that is what retroactive jealousy is. You're actually going back and you're feeling those things as a result of what she did in the past, even though since you've been together, there's been nothing to be jealous about at all. Um, and when you really think about it, it's it's nonsensical, but there are a lot of reasons for it. Jealousy itself has its own function, and the function of jealousy is mate protecting. Uh, it's you have this feeling of jealousy, and if a man has a balance, because women do want you to have some jealousy, they just don't want you to have it to the point to where they have to pay for what uh, their experiences and to the point where they feel controlled. But they do want to know that you care. Uh, and the function of jealousy is, like I said, mate protecting. Before there were paternity tests that came along, men really had to make sure that they weren't taking care of somebody else's children. And so jealousy was a way to keep other men away. And if he was able to keep these other men away, then he'd be successful at reproducing. Reproductive, I'm sorry, retroactive jealousy is a little different because you have that jealousy, but it's from people in the past, so they really are of no threat in terms of, uh, you know, that not being your child if you get your partner pregnant. Or are they? That's the question. Or are they? Are these people from the past going to show up now and disrupt what we are creating? Uh, are you laying in bed with me and thinking about somebody else who you were with in the past? Am I investing all of this into you just to lose you to someone who you had been with in the past? Um, and so all these questions are going on, and it's really all rooted in insecurity. And the one thing I will tell you, because we're going to do more videos about this where we go in depth, and I'm really going to try to help some people out of this. Uh, One of the questions that you have to ask yourself is how much longer do you think your partner is going to be attracted to you when all she sees is your insecurity? That's a question that you have to ask yourself because women are not attracted to insecure men. They're not. They like a little bit of jealousy, but they do not like insecurity. And you're allowed to have some insecurities. You are. But there's a point to which she will no longer look at you the same. She will no longer look at you as the man that she sees or that she saw in the beginning because all she sees is your insecurities. You will become smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where she is not even sexually attracted to you because all she can see is your insecurities. And she can feel your insecurities because when you bring up her past and when you dig into it and when you judge her and when you do these things, you really make her feel bad about herself and her decisions. And that's one of the things that people with retroactive jealousy do. They have to make other people feel bad about their history so that they feel more secure. Uh, it's almost like if you feel bad about what you did in the past, then I don't have to worry about you doing it again. What I really think it boils down to is a sense of that man feeling like you didn't think about me when you were doing these things. Even though we weren't together, even though you didn't know me, I was always on the way. I was always going to be your man one day. And when you were out just doing whatever with whoever, you weren't considering me. You weren't waiting on me. And the hypocrisy of this is that these same men aren't looking at their own sexual history and judging themselves in the same way. They're not doing that. So one thing that you have to do is you have to look at your own hypocrisy. You got to be willing to look at yourself, your own hypocrisy, and say, how am I judging this person more harshly than I'm judging myself? Number two, you really got to think about what you're doing to the person who you say that you love. Do you really love this person, or are you really being loving to this person? Because every time you bring these things up, you're hurting this person a little bit more. And you're also cutting off the line of communication, because where she may have been open to sharing things with you before, now she doesn't want to share as much because she's going to have to feel the blowback of your jealousy. And even if she does open up, it may not be honest because she's protecting herself from the vitriol that she's getting from you. So keep those things in mind. And just think about the fact that this is a person who you have chosen to be with. You have chosen to be with each other. So how much pain do you want to cause the person that you're with? And you're setting yourself up for pain because this person will leave you. It doesn't matter how long you've been together, how much love this person has for you. If just communicating with you is causing her pain, how long do you think she's going to stick around for that? So keep those things in mind, and I'm going to go through more videos on this topic talking about this, and my hope is that, you know, this is something that I've gotten through, but something that sometimes I still feel reminiscences of. And so this is something that I want to help other men through, because you're going to cost yourself the relationship that you want. And typically, by the time men are looking for answers for this, it's because they are afraid to lose what they have. They've lost relationships in the past, but they are afraid of losing what they have right now. So my goal is to help you through that. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you buy the book, What She Taught Me, where I discuss this and what's happening energetically beyond everything that's happening physically. So I hope you get the book, and I hope you stick with me.